You're listening to Soundstage,
a local music radio program
hosted by myself, Nicole Zell,
and me, Rob Perna,
on WCHE 1520,
based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Heard worldwide on WCHE1520.com.
It is our privilege and passion to bring you music, interviews, and meaningful conversation from local artists.
Thank you for tuning in and supporting local music. You guys are listening to Soundstage on WCHE 1520. I'm your host, Nicole Zell. And in the studio, well, we also have, your other host.
It's all good. I'm Rob Perna.
I was on a roll there, Rob.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm sorry.
You're feeling it.
So for the first time in, over 2 years, we have Sunblaze Lane.
Hey.
Welcome back, guys.
What's up?
So glad to be back. Yeah.
Yeah,
thanks.
Yes. So I got to tell a little, weird backstory. So Justin and I were talking over Facebook Messenger about you guys coming back on the show for this. And I the night before I was watching when you guys did the live concert broadcast at Sprout Music.
Yeah.
When we did this, do you remember? Nick's I was very inebriated. I don't remember.
Oh, wait, yeah, I do remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, it was after our set. We did a standing interview.
Yeah, we did we did the interviews.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember that.
You just did
Barely, but I've seen the pictures of it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we were live.
It's still on YouTube if you want to watch it now.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching it, I was reminiscing, and then I saw that, and then literally, or maybe it was it might have been the same day, then you messaged me and you were like, hey, we'd love to come back on Soundstage.
Wow.
And I was like, I just watched an interview with you guys. That's so weird.
Well, yeah, because it actually, who was it? Matt from Sprout actually hit me up the other day because he came on to plug Sprout.
He was here a few weeks ago,
and he had brought that up during the interview, and then he messaged me. He goes, I might not have just plugged Sunblaze Lane on air again, and I was like, what? And I went back and listened. I was like, I totally forgot about that. And then I think you told me that we were going back on either right before that or shortly after that. So I was like. Awesome. The universe is working all together for us.
It's very cosmic, yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad you guys are back here. You're after a 2-year hiatus. You're back doing new music. There's a music video coming out. There's lots of things happening. So I think before we get started with the music and playing that, I just want to know what's been going on in the 2-year hiatus. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff that's happened to you guys personally and within the band and everything. So.
Who wants to start? we got stuff all over the place.
Nick start, and then we'll go from there.
Start with me.
Each one of us, though.
All right, so after we took the break, kind of moved into another realm of doing cover music with my other band, Electric Church, which anybody who knows me knows that band. We went to the studio, released an album. All cover tunes which people said that we were crazy for doing, but we said screw it, we're going to do it anyway. So did it, went out great. I love those guys. We still play all the time, and that's my second band. But I'm glad to have my voice back with Sunblaze because you can only do so much with covers. But to be back with these guys and saying what I want to say, it goes a really long way.
Yeah.
And it's magic again to be able to sit down and write with these guys because it seems like we never left. It seems like we never left off. So did that. Got diagnosed with MS, which was fun. I laugh about it now. So seriously, just laugh about it. Laugh, please, laugh. Yeah.
Oh man,
it's fun now. So yeah. So we laugh that off now. That's how we get through stuff. But no, like I said, music has been my one outlet and backbone to all of this stuff and being able to power through. So it's nice to be back with these guys doing it again.
For sure.
So.
Wow. Everyone is here now in the band. So
Wolf
you
just
want to
joined
go
in, too.
around and introduce yourselves and what you play so everyone knows who's here.
Sure, yeah.
You start, Wolf?
Go ahead, Wolf.
Wolf Bailey, bass guitar.
He's the new guy.
I'm going by Jay Shred now. I'm the lead guitar.
Not official.
We like Seal?
Yeah. I want to drop the last name too, but Facebook won't let me yet.
Yeah. I'm still John.
What do you do, John?
I'm the drummer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I'm Nick, and I only sing now. Apparently I got kicked off guitar. So.
No, but our old bassist, Addie, who we're going to try to get on the phone here in a minute, but he's second guitar now.
Yeah, Addie took my place, so he's playing rhythm guitar now. So
how has that been? Has it been liberating to not have to worry about guitar? Or has it been scary?
No, it's easy for me just because I in Electric Church, I only sing in there. So I've been used to kind of doing that more frontman duty, and I've been wanting to do it for a while now just because I can get the crowd more involved. I can run around a little bit, and then I can focus on just singing instead of having to focus on playing guitar, singing at the same time. It's just one singular focus. And I mean, from the stuff that we've been writing so far, I think my voice has gotten better just because I've been able to focus clearly on just vocals. So, you know, it's nice. It's a nice change. And Addie's stellar on guitar, and Wolf's killer on bass. So we have a hell of a dynamic right now.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
the stuff that's coming out is the best we've ever written, and that's saying something because I think all of our music is great, but this stuff is killer.
Well, you can hear it, and you guys are going to hear it in a little bit. Before we get started with that, your first show is this Saturday, right?
Yeah, first show back in 2 years, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah,
okay, so where's it going to be? How can people get there, get in, everything?
All I know is where I'm showing up. I don't know any details about it. Nobody told me anything.
Jay Shred, it's all on you.
It's all on Justin. Justin's already set up.
Yeah, well, it's at the Barnaby's in
Barnaby's?
Holmes, PA.
I thought it was at the Ridley House.
Used to be Barnaby's.
Yeah, it's the Ridley House now.
Okay,
it's the Freeze Fest.
When you say the Ridley House, people are like, "What, Ridley, PA?" And then that's not what it is. It's just the name of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Well, that's nice for me to know because I've been going to the wrong place.
That was the most lead singer thing ever.
Show up at the wrong bar.
It's still known as Barnaby's.
Well, on Facebook, if you want to tag it, it has to be Barnaby's. They don't have, I don't know, it's just...
Cool.
You know.
It's news to me, man. I'm learning about this as we go.
We just found out it's the biggest beer pong tournament on the East Coast, right?
Well, yeah, that's what my cousin said. I mean, I don't know how valid it is, but it's supposed to be a huge one. He said they have been known to make like $5,000 the winner or something crazy like that. I don't know if that's happening this year. I know they are giving away a $500 cash prize.
There's a zero missing from that.
Well, someone said 5,000 for beer pong, which I'm not 100% on, but I know for 100% fact they're giving a $500.
At least
At least
500
to 5,000
to play some beer.
Somewhere
I'm
in
playing.
between.
I'm definitely
Does your cousin usually spin tall tales? Do you have any reason?
No, but although it was Barnaby's then, and now it's Ridley House, so that could be the difference too.
That could be the difference. Yeah.
Oh.
Not as much.
Yeah, last year you said
The old bait and switch.
Oh yeah.
Back in the good old days when I used to win $5,000 in beer pong. So that's happening this Saturday. What time are you guys going on?
We are actually the headliners for it, right?
Ooh,
so
nice.
We're 8:30, I believe, is our set.
Yeah,
right?
of the live bands, we're going to be the last band to play around 8:30 p.m.
And John's other band, Tito and the Banditos, plays right before us at 8 o'clock, right? Or 7:50?
7:30. 7:30. Because we're going on 8:30, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Tito and the Banditos is supposed to go on a little bit after 7, and then Sunblaze Lane plays directly after. So.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so somewhere around 7 and 8, you'll find his band, and then we'll be on after that.
Just
and then,
show up whenever it's going to be an awesome.
It starts at 12. It's an alternate. I know people that do the whole day.
Yeah.
You guys know me. I don't follow specific details. I just show up, play.
They always change
leave.
the times anyway.
Exactly. The set times never run. Come on.
But they're starting at 12 noon. There's going to be like younger bands starting earlier in the day, so we're probably going to get there earlier. And we've been doing some podcasting, so we want to see who's there. Meet some new musicians that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the podcast thing and a lot of other things too. But let's play some music really quick. So we're gonna do the first song we're gonna play is "Left to Fate." Mm-hmm. Do you care to maybe elaborate on the meaning and the inspiration of this song?
Oh man.
Okay, so I never like to tell people what to think about a song. I want everybody to find their own meaning in a song of what the words mean. But personally, I wrote this with the heroin epidemic in mind, just because of, and just addiction in general, just of how bad it's become and how much I've seen it overtake, not only the country as a whole, but specifically this area. And I was sitting there thinking about it, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to write this song about? And then the first line that came to my head was "Another Needle Calling," which is the opening line of the song, and I went, all right, I know exactly what this is going to be. And I already said I was never going to tell anybody this, but I'll tell this. My buddy Brandon Novak, recovering addict, and is now one of the biggest spokesmen for addiction recovery in the entire United States.
Wow, that's amazing.
He has helped so many people that I can't even count. But his story alone popped into my head, and I went, all right, I owe you one, so I'm gonna tag you back on this one. So in my mind, I wrote this with him in mind. But don't tell him that because he's going to get an even bigger head, and I'm never going to hear the end of it. Yeah. So that's what this is about. But again, it can be.
It's about me. Listen.
Oh, look at this. This song's about me. You know another song about me.
But again, I want everybody to draw their own conclusions about what the lyrics mean because they're broad.
Yeah.
But in my mind, that's what this song is about me.
Yeah.
But I also think that this is the best song that we have ever made. And this is now the world premiere of this new song.
World
so
premiere.
Don't sell us short.
I'm not selling it short. That's what I'm saying. I really believe that this is the best song we've made thus far. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thus far.
Well, we're honored to be, premiering it in a way. So this is Left to Fate. You guys are listening to Sunblaze Lane on Soundstage.
Another needle calling, another line is drawing, and now your life is left to fate. Abandon all your reason, seclusion is in season, now fade away into escape. I suffocate and float away. Where am I going? The pain is flowing. Deliver me now to the great escape. They won't let you die.
You're listening to the greatest hits of the 50s.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock.
60s.
Papa's got a brand new bed.
70s. 1520 WCHE.
You're listening to Soundstage on WCHE 1520. I'm your co-host, Nicole Zell.
And I'm Rob Perna.
And we have Sunblaze Lane in the studio today. Really excited. You guys just heard Left to Fate, one of their brand new singles. So the music video is coming out for that song, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell any secrets about that?
Well, here's the thing.
Idea,
here's the one idea. So I think we kind of pinned it down because originally we had this whole thing. We were going to do the cliche filming on top of a parking garage with a sunset, and that was the promo video that came out, and then walking through town and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, that might be kind of cliche and boring and cheesy.
We also had the fire. That was epic.
Oh, Jesus Christ, John, don't get started. So then we decided yesterday, we were like, all right, let's just get a strobe light, throw me on a couch, and do one continuous take of me singing this song and kind of writhing around like I'm losing my head.
I love that.
And it seems like that is kind of what it's going to end up being now. So Addie, who's not here, is putting that together, mixing it up. So hopefully we should have that thing done, like, immediately.
That's
and
awesome.
then and then have it out, because technically that'll be the full release of the song.
Right.
I mean, everybody who was lucky enough to listen to this now got the first taste of it. Cool. But yeah, it's coming. So
that's awesome. I like that concept a lot. It seems much more fitting for the subject matter and you know what you want to.
How many cameras are you running for a shot like that? Is it going to be just like one camera on you?
Well, we had 2 going.
Right.
We might just end up using the 1, though, because the footage off the 1 I already saw, and the way that it was tracking me and going up and down, it actually made it really artsy and really cool in my mind. So it might just be 1 continuous shot.
Awesome.
But we'll see how yours goes. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I filmed from a different direction.
Yeah.
When you did look at the camera, I mean, it's going to look.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We use probably the most on the one that Addie was doing, and then some shots from mine.
Some shots here and there.
Nice. I love how you guys do it all in house.
Oh yeah, well, like that song.
Everything you guys do is in house.
Everything's in house. That's the thing. That song, and every song we've done, has been recorded by us and normally mixed and mastered by somebody else. But this time, Justin took the reins on that last song, Left to Fate, and he mixed, mastered, put that entire thing together. So props to Justin for creating one hell of a song.
Thank you.
It's mean. So yeah, we like to do everything in house as much as possible because we know the sound that we're looking for.
And speaking of that, tell us a little bit about the process of going from, again, 2 years you guys have taken off, but before that you've been together for then 6 years, technically, right?
6 years?
So, so there has been a huge change in what you guys are producing now, recording and producing, the sound production of everything. How has that been, like that process of learning and growing and changing things in the studio?
Yeah, well, I mean, the first bass player I knew, Josh, I mean, they had one prior to that. But Josh is still a part of the family. I mean, he supports Addie. I don't want to get too personal, but I mean,
they live in the same house.
Yeah, I mean, they both live in the same house. So, yeah, I mean, Someplace Land's more than just like the 4 or the 5 of us. It's more about just like the support we're getting, the other musicians that we're performing with, the other creative people in the area that we can support. Yeah,
lots of musicians we work with and side projects that we're always trying to work on.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is from working with all these guys, we've more or less I cannot say the word perfected, mixing, mastering, and recording because no, we're far from that. And anybody who is a master at that is still not saying that they're perfection because there's no perfection that can be achieved. But from repetitive times of us recording our own stuff, working along the lines, and you can hear it if you listen to our first work that we put out to what's now. You can see a direct line of the recording process and the mixing and the mastering becoming that much better and getting more towards a professional level. Because the first ones are more like demos if you really listen to them.
Like Queen Kills King?
Oh, yeah. It sounds so terrible to me now. But the stuff now, like I could, in my mind, we could throw it on the radio. Like we just did, and it would be just fine in my mind. But I mean, that's attributed to Justin and just the amount of time and work that he puts into just sitting down in front of a computer with headphones or those speakers and just going at it for hours until he finds exactly.
Yeah, well,
what he
right
wants.
now it's a lot of grinding with these like MIDI notes on the drums, and we got to be honest how we're doing it right now. But John's actually an incredible live drummer as well, and we want to start honing in on being able to capture that. In more of a live setting, isolate the amps in different rooms, do it the proper way and demonstrate that we can actually, play this a lot better than just going each track at a time or just, spreading it out over the course of a month or a whole year, 2 years. Sometimes we have songs that we start and they're not done for like 2-3 years or something.
We've gotten a lot better too at recording live drums recently, even though these drums are not live. And I think it's harder for me to write the drums and MIDI tracks than it is for me to play live with a metronome. But we've been practicing recently with getting some better live sounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Is it's all of these songs. It's John playing. It's just the way that they're actually put down and recorded is different. Just because we're not able yet to get the sound that we want out of it. We're able to get it digitally. but we're getting to the point where we're being able to track him live and put it down, because I mean it's all stuff that he plays, all these tracks.
What are you currently using to trigger the MIDI? What are you using to input the information?
Well, what I do is I'll play with a metronome or I'll listen to a live recording of us, and then I'll just literally have that video on that and then write it with just MIDI notes, just literally writing.
On Logic, the digital audio workstation they call it. It's just like the recording program. We use Macs mainly. Like every one of us in the band has a Mac computer by this point.
We're all Mac on this one. Yeah.
Very cool.
I believe we have someone on the phone. Can you hear us?
Hey, I sure can. This is Addison. What's going on?
Hey, Addison.
There we go.
Oh, it's the Child himself.
I'm going to give you my professional name.
Yeah, your professional.
On the radio.
Addison.
Thanks for joining us. I'm glad that you can be here via phone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's great. Thanks for working that out.
So I hear that you are right now possibly editing this music video that we're all excited to see.
Yeah, we're trying. It's just one of those things we don't want to rush it too much, but at the same time, it's pedal to the metal. But it's a different one. I'll tell you that.
So we're doing the idea that we talked about, right?
Rushing it out.
Rushing it out.
Coming out tomorrow.
One take, Jake.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. The lighting we use is the question mark. For 3 minutes of it, it's pretty brutal. I don't want to give too much away, but.
Yeah, we might have to put a seizure notification at the beginning of that video.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of lights.
A lot of flashes, a lot of strobes. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no footage is going to go to waste. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. We were just talking about, I don't know if you were able to hear, but right before you called, we were talking about just like the evolution of your sound as a band, and you guys producing and recording and such. Do you have anything to add to that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't hear anything prior to calling. I just dialed the number, but
nice.
all I can say is this band definitely got a facelift. It's got a new attitude all the way around, and it's showing through the songs we're making. So they're full of emotion, straight from the heart. It's not a gimmick,
Yeah.
So
I love that.
what you see is what you get. Yeah.
Sounds like you are near a very big pack of
geese. Are you fighting geese again, bud? That's like the third time this week.
What?
Are you fighting
It sounded
geese?
like geese were in the background there.
Oh yeah, a bunch of geese just flew over my car.
The geese did just fly over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They probably don't know where they're going.
Oh man.
Oh God. Well, next time, definitely if you can come in person.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's
good to be able to talk to you though like this. So I wanted to ask also. We were talking about recording the drums and stuff.
Yes.
Rob, you were asking about the MIDI and all that. You guys are doing Logic right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, that is hard. I totally get how. Oh my God, as a drummer, it must be so frustrating to. There's only so much you can do at a certain point when you don't have the things to mic, the equipment, the mics, everything.
Yeah.
We've gone through the same thing with bands I've been in before. So you guys are moving towards
Now we have
doing that.
Let me explain on the song Hell that we released. We actually did record live drums, and then what we did is we isolated literally every note, and then we put it through this like transformer that just like automatically puts everything perfectly in tune, and then some of the drum components actually got sampled too, so it's like a combination of sampling and the real drums. So John can feel like he's actually on there.
Honestly, we definitely could have done live drums on this one with the new equipment we've recently purchased and stuff. But we were just trying to get this out as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it took so much time editing live drums that I was like, you know what? I want to get this out before the show.
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
Yeah.
I'm just going to write it.
The thing is, we made it an action to make sure that we get this thing out as fast as possible, because otherwise we have a tendency to be like, we'll get it out, and then it just never comes out.
This is the fastest way to get a song out.
Exactly.
So.
We put it out in 1 week, because last week was when we recorded it, right?
Yeah.
So we turned the song around in 1 week and got it out. I wrote the lyrics 5 minutes before I recorded it.
It's like a year or two old, though. We took it from a recording from like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. It was a 2-year-old song that we just never touched on. Yeah. We have like 16 or 17 2-year-old songs that we never touched on that we're now starting to get back on now.
Sometimes it's really good to just step away from something for a minute too.
I tell you, the break that we took,
back into it.
the break that we took might have been the best possible thing for us, because now we have a clear head. Everybody's got their lives together. Everybody's got their stuff together, and we can just focus on making great music. Other than Wolf stepped into something that he has no idea what's about to go on.
I do want to ask Wolf some questions.
There's a reason why we're called the American Oasis, man.
Do you got anything to add, man?
Do I have anything to add? Yeah, I didn't know what I was walking into. I was in a band with Justin Pryor. I really didn't get a chance to
10
play
years
out.
ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
You try and find musicians while you got a full-time career that takes up most of your time. You got jokers and posers, good musicians, but they don't want to play. But, this guy was like, hey, we could use a bass player. I walked in, I'm like, these guys are no joke. I'm doing radio interviews.
It's like your third week in the band, you're doing an interview.
We're doing a second one.
Second, exactly. Yeah, second one.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, welcome to.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you, Wolf.
Before the sign off happens, which we still, the interview is going to be going until whenever we feel like it, I guess. But 5:45, guys, go on WCHE1520.com if you want to hear the rest of the interview. And before that happens, I want to play the next song. Do you want to do Alone next?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Addison, I'm going to let you go so we can play the song. Is that all right?
All right.
Bye,
I'm going to listen in.
Bye.
Get back to work on that video.
Tomorrow.
All right, so let's play Alone. This is out of listening to the new ones. This is my personal favorite so far. I love this one. So, all right, this is Alone. You guys are listening to Some Blaze Lane on Soundstage, WCHE 1520. Sunblaze Lane on Soundstage. The guys are in the studio right now, and we've like a few more questions for you guys, I guess, which is kind of going to be off the topic of the band, if that's okay.
Oh yeah.
I want to start with you, Nick. You have been writing. You're a writer-author now.
I'm a writer.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you always have been a writer.
Yeah, but you take that loosely.
So tell me about what's wrong with that.
Well, I got hooked up with a magazine called That Mag, and they're out of Philadelphia, but they cover acts that come through Philadelphia or, like big-time acts or local acts and stuff like that. I've done 2 pieces for them so far. Actually, my first piece that I ever wrote was covering one of my heroes, Liam Gallagher from Oasis.
Wow.
I covered his new album, Why Me, Why Not, and it was nerve-wracking because I've never written anything like that before, and to critique one of your heroes is something like, I'm like, oh God, I can't screw this up. But I got good praise for that one. And then my next one, I got the incredible honor and pleasure of interviewing one of the greatest guitarists to ever come out of Philadelphia, Nick Perry. Who's played for Silvertide. He went on tour with Shinedown, Dorothy. He's played with Van Halen, Velvet Revolver, Motley Crue. I mean, this dude is as rock and roll as they come. And I was scared to death of that interview because, again, I've never interviewed anybody before, so all new ground. But we went over to Slow Hand right around the corner, sat down, and it quickly became not an interview in the slightest. It was a conversation. It was like he and I had been friends for years. Interviews, as you know, can normally last for 15, 20 minutes. Nick and I, on record, spoke for an hour, and then a half hour after that, and then he invited me out to go hang out and have drinks with him and the rest of the Underground Thieves, which is his band, after that, because the Underground Thieves were opening for the Struts. In a few weeks, they already did that show over the Fillmore. So covered that, and that piece got some pretty wide acclaim. Nick posted it up all over social media, went on Silvertide stuff. It went all over the place. So my name got out there pretty quick, and from that interview, there has been some exciting developments that I am not at liberty to share yet. But I am so incredibly stoked for the future and what my writing career might have to come. But it's definitely awesome. I love it.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. And then I want to talk about the podcast.
Yeah.
So, you guys take that away.
That's not me. That's you guys.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess I'm responsible because I started this.
Oh my God!
I'll take the blame.
Mission of guilt.
Yeah. So it started with a Facebook page, and then
Tell them about your Facebook page.
Well, I'm trying to be humble. Like everyone's, equally, putting out as much effort as I am, or if not more. It was just kind of like starting, igniting the fire on it, and it seems like a lot of people, not just the musicians in our network, just a lot of different people want to like join in and like they have a lot of like suggestions for topics, like maybe movies. We'll do a podcast on that, or we'll what else do we have, John?
Well, we've done a podcast where we listen to celebrity and sports rappers and musicians and see what their stuff was, which is very interesting. And it's pretty funny when you're watching these videos and you're like, wow, it's a totally different person, where it's just, this person's awesome on the field or whatever, but his music is terrible,
Yeah.
Or the opposite. Some of it sounded pretty good. I mean, Eddie Murphy, if you heard him, he does some reggae. He's got that song with Snoop Dogg.
Wait, I had no idea this happened.
Oh, wait, well, first of all, Party All the Time. Party All the Time is like one of the greatest songs ever created.
Did I not know this?
Oh, no, that was from the 80s? Oh, no, that's
an old jam. That's him and Rick James, I think, made that.
Oh, that's a mean track.
But, Eddie Murphy's like a closet guitar, like, beast.
Nice.
Like, I read an interview. He rarely does interviews, but I remember reading an interview in Rolling Stone, and the interviewer went over to see him, and he had his Strat, and he was just jamming along to stuff, and then, like, at different times during the interview, he'd, like, pick it up and, like, rip some Jimi Hendrix guitar stuff, like, no problem. Like, and the guy was like, I didn't have a clue. So then Eddie said he specifically doesn't really want to put stuff out there like that because he doesn't want it to get ripped apart by people. And he said, one day when I'm gone, you're going to have a whole vault worth of stuff that you can listen to.
Wow.
Like,
sounds like Prince.
Yes, it is.
It might all be a joke, though. I don't know. No, apparently, he records regularly and writes, and
that's amazing.
Good.
That's awesome. Yes. So the main purpose of the podcast is to find all the local music, whether they have good recordings or not. They might still be incredible, musicians, and, we could help them record, or we could help promote what they already have out. We could help get them shows. I'd prefer to listen to local music or something more underground than, than the other stuff that, that you see on commercials all the time, the same song being played over and over again. I love Led Zeppelin, but, like that rock and roll song is just completely ruined now, So yeah, we're heavily focusing on uniting the community of local musicians. And
contact us if you want to join or be any type of part of it.
Yeah, do you have social medias for that? Where can people find that?
Yeah, so go to BMG. It's called Brandywine Music Group, and it's
Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook page.
Oh, that's you guys?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, who is this?
I had no idea, but you're doing some cool stuff.
So
thank you.
I definitely want to get involved.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And stuff.
Thank you for noticing.
So cool. Yeah, I'm seeing that.
So,
we'll play anybody's local music around here.
And it's not just a podcast. You're trying to eventually build it up to have more, even of an agency type feel, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yep,
Okay,
basically it's becoming a record label business, but it's more of a voluntary effort right now between everybody that just wants to be involved in the grassroots, push, because I can't do it all myself. Right. I need to rely on the other. Bands out here. I'm not just going to force Someplace Lane down everybody's throat, it's got to be different style, lighter genres too, especially all the people I met when I was in Hawaii, they want to hear super laid back jams. They really don't like Someplace Lane.
We're not asking for anything like that.
It's a little too loud for Hawaii.
Yeah, they're like, turn it down.
Oh my God. So BMG. Brandywine Music Group, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I love how you're like, that's what that was.
Yeah, you guys. I've seen so much about it.
I know. Yeah.
Wow. Westchester Rock Music Group too.
That's incredible.
So you guys go like that for sure. Follow that, and then Someplace Lane. Where can people find out information on social media and online?
Well, we got the run of them. So we got the Facebook, the Instagrams, and the Twitters, and
Someplace Lane.
Someplace Lane on everything. We're pretty easy to find. Yeah, I don't think nobody else has that name yet, so it's pretty easy to be able to take
Someplace Lane at gmail.com for business inquiries.
Yeah. Website we got to rebuild.
We have one.
We have a someplacelane.com.
Well, we did our hiatus,
we're going to rebuild it. We'll rebuild it. But anymore, who goes onto a website anymore? It's all social media.
If people
so
really want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. This domain name still?
I know. It is annoying.
So
$8? Oh, man.
Yeah, no.
And I don't know.
The YouTube channel as well. We're also on YouTube, and then we got all of our videos on there, all of our songs, everything also comes out on there. So,
I forgot also to plug where people can go to find your writings too. That mag. Right?
Yeah, That Mag. Yep. It'll be thatmag.com.
Okay.
It's called That Music Mag, but you find That Mag, and you'll be able to find me on there.
Sounds
and then
some other things.
Some other things that are in the works that are not there yet, but you'll see that soon enough. And I'm such a loudmouth that, trust me, everybody will know as soon as it comes out.
Follow this guy right here.
Yeah. And look for the music video, which is, maybe Addison's working on it right now. Who knows? We don't really know.
Hanging out with geese.
Yeah, exactly. So let's play. I can't believe this is so sad that our time is coming to an end here. But before we play the last song, we're going to do "I'm Coming Home," which I do believe we actually played here on Soundstage many moons ago.
Mm-hmm. I think it was actually a couple years back.
Yeah.
I think we debuted it here.
Probably, yes.
I think so. Did we?
Probably, yeah.
I think we might have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, full circle.
So before we play this and sign off, what else this is already a lot of information, a lot of things coming up, but what else for 2020 can people expect from Someplace Lane?
All right. I'm gonna break a little bit of rank here from the rest of the things that are going on. And I'm gonna announce something that hasn't been announced yet, but I will give you guys at least a little teaser.
Wow.
May 9th at Sprout is going to be the biggest gig that Westchester has seen in a very long time. The bands that are going to play on this thing are going to be insane, and this show is going to be massive. We have not announced it yet. We're just waiting on a couple things to lock up. But I can assure you that when you hear it, you're going to be like, holy crap, especially if you're from around this area and you know the local music. All I will tell you is that Someplace Lane is going to be on that bill.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about this,
A
Rob?
lot of other bands too. Well,
There's 6 bands. There's 6
just
bands.
checking my calendar to make sure what we're doing.
Oh crap, that's me too.
Screwed now.
May 9th.
I just have to be playing down the street. And stuff. I don't have.
But yeah, Saturday, May 9th is going to be a massive gig at Sprout in Westchester. It just has not been announced yet, but again, you will see it on everybody's social media, and it's going to be big. So we have that.
Calendars.
We have other gigs that are kicking up too. We're going to move down to Atlantic City, and we're not moving to Atlantic City, but we're going to play Atlantic City. Philly shows are coming up, so we have all this stuff. But yeah, stay tuned. We're coming back.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Wolf, yeah, man, a few words.
Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. It's always a blast to have you guys.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so we'll end with I'm Coming Home here, which is I think a very perfect way to end this. So welcome back. Home. I know you guys, you're home. I know the hiatus is over.
Oh, we're back.
So you guys have been listening to Sunblaze Lane on Soundstage. This is their song I'm Coming Home.
It's been 6 months or more since you walked out of the door, packed your bags and took off on your own. Tried drowning sorrow out, but instead my mind's going down. The whiskey and the cocaine pour like rain, and in the bar I see